Hello, everybody. Welcome. Tonight, we are going to suspend disbelief and pretend that we are at a conference and we're meeting each other in the hallway, or let's say at a table where Brian holds court. And anybody, whatever's on your mind, we're going to talk about. And the first person I'm going to go to that contacted me today with a really interesting topic is Alex from Cyprus. Alex, what's on your mind? What's going on, buddy? Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while.
Good, good. Well, as we're at this conference, I'm just wondering when the free buffet is starting. No, I'm joking. Yeah, so basically I was thinking, working with other vendors is a good way of getting extra work, because when you're working at a venue, it's good to be outgoing, not outspoken, but outgoing. And sometimes you can get work by, as I said, working with other vendors, but working with the planner if the planner's independent, and not taking over their job, but being their, right-hand person. I wouldn't say man or woman, because in this day and age, it's the right hand.
Well played.
Whatever the pronoun is in this day and age. But
Human.
obviously, DJ, you're there with the mic. You're in control of the evening to a point, so you can say, do you need me to make announcements for the buffet? Speak to the photographers, let them know 10 minutes beforehand that we're going to be doing the first dance and things like this. Because I've had feedback from photographers, for example, where they've been at venues and they found out that the first dance is happening because the DJ has invited the bride and groom onto the dance floor. So by communication and organisation, with the vendors, the planners, etc., it gives a good working relationship, and that means then in future when said vendors are, speak to clients, because we're not always the first person that the client speaks to. It's the venue, it's the planner. More often, it's the photographer before they even book us as the entertainment. Then they'll be in a position to say, John, Susan, Claire, etc. We worked with them. They were great. They were really helpful for us. Go ahead and here's their contact details. Give them a shout and see if they're the right person for you.
Sounds good. Speaking of announcements, thank you, John, for reminding me. I almost forgot. We have one of our primary sponsors, is a longtime sponsor, is DJ Event Planner. That's www.djeventplanner.com. And the other sponsors that help keep the show going will be down in the description of this video when it goes up to YouTube. So you guys carry on. Like, you could walk up to the conversation if you wish. Otherwise, I will say, "Hey, Mikey, how you doing, man? I haven't seen you in a while."
Hey, how you doing? Got a couple guys that are looking for different equipment in different cases, and I've seen a video by Brian S. Red. I'm going to check this guy out. Maybe give you some pointers. There's another guy looking for some equipment. Actually, a guy from Pioneer, Dr. Jay Brennan, and some guy for lighting.
Now he's at Howler.
Yeah,
Dr. Pastor.
The chip man.
Yeah, Pastor.
But it's just a communication between each other. Yeah, and that's it.
Hey, Alex, you know what? I love going over and finding my 3 videographers and 2 photographers sitting for 45 minutes eating dinner and then helping them succeed at their job. And that's about 99% of the time.
Yeah.
I do my best to get them to come up. But I've also found that since they're doing nothing while the bride and groom are mingling, it's sort of sometimes I'm not burning them by not running up and telling them every event. But I see your point about sharing and staying in good graces. But it seems lately, a lot of the vendors I work with, some of them get it, and a lot of them are as dumb as a bag of rocks. So I can't tell if I'm going to benefit anybody. But at the end of the night, I want the bride and groom to get all the shots.
How interesting would it be, though,
that you work with the other vendors well?
How interesting would it be is if there was like a team, there was a coordinator, there was a photographer, there was a photo booth person, maybe even a florist and a DJ who all went out together and did jobs. How cool would that be? Everybody would be on the same page.
Wow.
It'd be like a dance. That would be so cool. If
Yeah, but you know what, Charlie? Still, last night I had 2 coordinators, outside, inside, and 5 photo and video. And I went over about 4 times and finally said to them, the bride and groom want to do a table touch. Are you guys going to come out? Because I've got toast starting in like 15 minutes. And I want to make sure that you guys are leaving at 7:30. The event ends at 10.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and 45 minutes of sitting, eating, hanging out, texting people. And I was like, you know, I don't kind of get the lack of real enthusiasm for the couple. Like they saw me the whole night mixing and working and talking. I even went over at one point, is you guys good? You need a drink? They're like, that's not your job. I'm like, yeah, but you're sitting eating your meal at your wedding. I'm happy to run to the bar and grab you a drink. They're like, man, that is so cool. Like, you don't have to, though. I said, I don't have to, but I want to see you guys smiling, and you're happier sitting next to each other than you are going to the bar. So, I mean, that's going to reflect on me. And yeah, I want the vendors to do well.
Yeah, I'm not saying that.
You made a good point there, Brian, about vendors working together. And do you remember being at the November meetup, and Don Maylock had done the sound and the lighting for that?
Mm-hmm.
He bought a house. He bought a house, and it's moments and memories for his wedding part of his DJ thing. And what he did was he brought in all the vendors. They all got their own room, and they're going to work together as a team.
Yeah, that's smart.
Videographer he put a lot of money into this. I'm talking house money, you know, and everybody, you know, from, you know, cake people to balloon people to anything you could possibly think of. Everybody wanted in on this.
Sure.
And then they would, when he did a wedding, he hashtagged every one of those vendors.
I'm sure there's a way that, yeah, you could go in and you could capitalize on this. I'm sure there is.
Mm-hmm.
The one-stop wedding shop. That's
Right.
not, you could do that. Absolutely. I was just talking utopian. Hey, have you gotten a photographer yet? Because I got somebody I work really well with.
Right.
Like a dance. How about, you know, whoever your other vendors you're looking for are? I got those people. We can go in. We're reading each other's minds.
Yeah.
It's going to be really nice. You know, whatever you want to do. I mean, but I've got some suggestions for you. It would just be cool if there was like this team that went out, and they could be independent. You know, it's not like I want to be, you know, their boss and take a cut or none of that. I'm just thinking how nice it would be.
No, that's not what Don's doing. Don's saying, hey, look, you get what you get. You know, all he's doing is, it's kind of like, what do they call that? Like renting office space or type.
Yeah.
It's like,
there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I've been talking a lot about, you know, club versus weddings this week. I'm realizing how nice it is and refreshing it is to go out and do the right club. The right club, not the wrong club, not you $150 bar people, the right club. And
you seem very happy with it.
Oh, I'm very. But one of the biggest benefits of it is that I don't have to go in to something like a club or something like, I don't have to go into, well, when I go into a club, speaking is difficult for me tonight, I don't have to reestablish relationships with bartenders, servers, kitchen, manager, anybody. We all know each other. We know what each other are going to do. We can help each other out, and we do it. How cool would that be to have that sort of experience at a wedding too? That's all I was saying. If there were people that you could actually coordinate with.
And a friend of mine is a photographer.
Look who just walked in. Aaron, what's up? You're joining the conversation. What's up, brother?
Oh, yeah, I heard you talking, Brian, and 100%. I did a couple club gigs last year, and taking that break away from weddings and the stress and like constant being on and interviewing for every little thing and the going over of the stuff, walking into a club, reading the crowd and just playing what you want to play and just playing music for playing music. Love it, man. I hear totally what you're saying.
there's a lot more involved to it if you're doing it right,
buddy.
you know.
Mhm.
But it's just refreshing, and I don't think you can have that perspective unless you've done both.
Yep.
If you've only done weddings, you're not gonna. A lot of people that I've talked to who do weddings, whenever I mention club, they're like, nope, don't want to take the pay cut, don't want to do. They don't even know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, they don't get
Well, we're terrible, like taverns and bars with people who don't appreciate what they're doing. That is not what I'm
a pay
talking
cut,
about.
Brian.
Huh?
It's always a pay cut.
Not necessarily.
You're not
Not
making,
necessarily.
you're not making what you'd make at a wedding at a club, are you?
You know what? I did the math today, and it's interesting, and I don't want to read the whole thing out to you, but basically what I was doing was I was trying to figure out what I'm making per hour as a wedding DJ. So I based this on $2,000 weddings. All right. So not, $1,000 weddings, not cheap, but I think $2,000 is pretty respectable. I think we can all agree that $2,000 is pretty good money for a wedding. Some may say they get more, some may say they get less, but let's just say $2,000. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 12 hours in drive time and performance today of at least. That's just what it is. Now, during the week, I'm putting in another 28 hours for planning. I mean, when you average it out with all of the gear maintenance I have to do, the timelines, the meetings, the marketing, the everything, you put that all together, it's a 40-hour, it's a full-time gig. When you say full-time DJ, you mean it. You're working full-time. You're working 40 hours. So if that's true, if you divide 2,000 by 40, it's $50 per hour.
Yep.
Right? Now, if you take into consideration that you've got expenses involved here with liability insurance, music purchases, gear rental, if you will. I mean, you've got to get some money back for the money you've invested into your equipment, right? I do 5% of the total. Gas, whatever. Okay, let's pretend you have $600 worth of expenses for every event that you do. Those of your business people know that's probably about right. About $600 is invested into this for you to make that $2,000. That brings you down to $1,400. Divide that by 40, and what do you got? $35.66 an hour. That's what you're making. Okay. Now, club gig. Yeah, you do have some expenses and things, but let's just pretend that you don't for a minute. 6 hours is what I'm putting in. It's half hour there, half hour back, which is not true. It's less than that. But let's just say it is 5-hour performance. So let's go 6 hours total. Okay. Mm-hmm. If I made $400 at the club and divided that by 6, that's $66.66 an hour. That's more. Now, if I consider that I have to invest $50, let's just say I did, in equipment rental and fuel and even expenses coming in from music services, that's $350. Divide that by 6, and you're at $58.66. It's still more per hour. So yes, you have more hours that you can work, and you can make more money being a wedding DJ. But when you think about it, you make more per hour as a club DJ. You can absolutely make more per hour.
I think a lot of markets, they make less than 400. I think most probably.
Oh, absolutely.
I think 95% of the DJs out there work less than 40 hours per wedding and make less than $2,000 a wedding too.
Well, I'm just throwing numbers out there.
Weddings.
I can't do every example and scenario.
No,
that's just one.
Right. I realize
now. Very good point, though. It's a really good point.
Yeah. No, and I think,
buddy,
welcome tear it down that way. It works out.
Buddy, come and sit down at the table at Brian's table. What's up?
Hey, do you guys have any good local pizza places? Because, I'm from Chicago.
That actually does him up. That he does come
I like
up.
thin crust, man. So, I'm going to try the East Coast pizza you guys have out here,
There is one place, but there's always stems in the pizza.
Yeah. I know stems of the pizza. Stems how I refer to it.
Look at Brian with the comedy comeback.
Yeah, just to get rid of the stems. Very David Letterman opening monologue of me to say that.
There's a button for that.
Yeah. I think they call it.
An interesting thing that you bring up money and go to a club. And again, you have to follow what is best for your business and what's best for your business model.
Yeah.
For some people, you'll go into the club it's rejuvenating, like, for both you and Aaron said. I say God bless, and do what makes you happy. At the end of the day, if you could pay your bills and you're happy, enjoy it. I've seen your videos. I've seen what you put up on Facebook. I've seen the stuff you put up there. You seem happy. That makes you happy and you're enjoying it.
He does.
God bless, my dude.
Well, the funny part about it is, and I won't go on and on about this because I'm taking a lot of your time already, but a lot of people have it in their head that you're either doing clubs or you're doing wedding receptions. You can do both.
Why not?
Why can't you do both?
Why not?
If you don't have to get up at 9:00 in the morning to go do a wedding reception on Saturday, you can do the club on Friday and make your dough and then go do your wedding on Saturday. You could, a younger person than I could pull that off probably better than I could. Because
speaking of the younger person, look who just came to the table. It's Master John.
Uh-oh.
He does clubs, he does weddings, he does setup, he does camera work. Holy cow.
You name it.
You are a road dog.
I wear many hats.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all in the hustle. You keep busy and, keep yourself out there. Just cut the tail end of what you were talking about there. Clubs are fun. It's you still have to read the crowd to some degree. It's less brain stress. Weddings, like Brian made a good mention, you're investing a 40-hour week for a 7-hour physical event, but the time of the calls and the meetings and the emails and the responding and the playlists and that's a full-time, that's a week. That's a week's worth of work. 1,000%. Whereas if you walk into some place on a weekend, Friday night, and you're just playing some top 40 and going with the flow, it's a lot, it can kind of clear your brain. And I
don't think most people, there are some people out there that have 17,000 gigs this year lined up. I understand that because I hear about it on social media. Yeah. I'd like to see how that works out, but whatever, take the word for it. They've got 17,000 gigs this year.
Probably got 6.
Most people don't. Most people have 25, 35, 40 gigs. You've got weekends where you're not gigging, and if you want to gig, you can. Just by mixing it up with both, I think it's really healthy. It's been a long time since I've done it, and I'm just glad to be doing it again.
Yeah. And
that's how they have a little bit of drink. You guys want anything? Like, going to the bar?
When you
Venti mocha frap with a shot of espresso, please.
When you went out to the bar, would you grab and hold a Jay? Because Jay's been yelling from the bar. He hasn't come over to the table yet.
No, I need an 8.3 ounce.
Who, by the way, has fallen off the wagon.
Hey, Jay, where you at? Hey, I was just over at the tables. Making a dough.
Oh, look at you.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to actually be here at the Tropicana for a little while, and then I got to go back to my hotel. I'm staying at the Cosmo. Since I've decided we're in Vegas at a trade show. Because Cosmo is the best rooms. Hey, I'm curious, because I would rather hear everyone's opinion on something. Okay. Just going around the room. Just give me a typical wedding introduction. The first time you get on the mic, what is the first sentence or 2 or 3 that you say at your events? Okay. So if everyone could just give me an example.
You want to pick people out? Or
just, Mikey, what first time you pick up the mic at your wedding, what do you say?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the bride and groom's name to their wedding. Welcome there. Okay. I always introduce the bride and groom, not just say bride and groom, always their name.
Okay. Alex, what do you say?
I go, attention, will the real bride and groom please stand up? Please stand up. No, I'm joking.
Sounds like a game show.
Normally, I speak to the client. Some people want it a little bit formal. Sometimes the bride wants to be announced as new married name. Sometimes their bride. Sometimes the new married name might be a little bit more unusual. I did have one bride and groom. They wanted to be introduced by their first names because her new married name was called Mycock. So it would have been Mr. and Mrs. Mycock. And for that reason, we all agreed that their first names would be better. So I introduced them as please welcome your new bride and groom, Claire and John.
Well, I mean, not even the bride and groom introduction. People
at least here in America, they open the doors, you have music playing, people walk in the room, and then at some point, you're going to start things. Usually it's the introduction of the bride and groom and the wedding party over here. But what is the first thing that you say when you turn the mic on? The room doesn't know you. They see you, but they don't have a clue who you are, what you're doing. Like, even before how you introduce.
Usually, Jay, like my first thing when I say, it's usually, ladies and gentlemen, can you please take your seats?
Yeah. It's a command.
Ask everyone to take their seats, get away from the bar and stuff. So that way, do the grand entrance there with that. So usually my first thing, and my wife and I share the MC work. So she actually does the introduction part, the B part of the introductions, and I take over halfway through. So it's one of the things that, it's lining her up, making sure she's in the right spot, but also she's coordinated with me, telling me what's going on. But before all that's done, the very first thing I'm asking everyone, ladies and gentlemen, will you please take your seats?
Well, I think what Jay's saying is, before you even say that, because you're going right to the introduction.
Are you literally opening with, ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats? Like the very, very first time you get on the mic.
That's
You don't welcome.
That's my
Well, good afternoon and welcome. Usually you get them coming in cold from cocktail. You haven't spoken to them at all at the ceremony. Cocktail is playing music. They see you, but they haven't heard you.
Exactly.
So at this point, they're filtering into the room. Hello and welcome, everybody. In just 10 minutes, we'll be bringing in Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so. Can we please ask you to take your seats at this time? We ask that you mute your cell phones and stay out of the way of the photographers, something like that, to see how they're going to respond to you. And you'll know what you're in for the rest of the day. If they're too busy doing this, then
I'm very mellow on the mic. And the thing is that the very first thing I'm saying to people is, ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats at this time. And we're going to start the festivities up shortly. That's pretty much about it.
I'm just trying to establish.
I do it different.
What do you send me to?
I first get on the mic and I say, hello and welcome to, and I use first names because it could be a same-sex couple. So it could be Bill and Jake, and I'll say, hello, welcome to Bill and Jake's celebration of marriage. We're going to start the introductions in a few minutes. If you could take your seats. And then when it comes to the introductions, the moment you've all been waiting for, and then I do the introductions.
Okay. Aaron, what do you like to?
I like to keep the energy up. I'm more of an energy kind of a hype guy. So I try to keep that energy from the beginning, even when the couple's not there, to a higher level whenever I can. One of the very first things I do is I introduce them to the room or the venue they're at. So like if I do something out in the mountains, it's like, really nice, ritzy place. Welcome to the Rimrock Resort, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Aaron. I'm going to be your DJ for this evening. The couple's going to be here, and I call them the couple. I don't name it in the beginning because then I save it. Usually I have an intro lined up for when they walk through the door for the grand entrance. So I welcome them to the establishment. Usually we'll go through a quick set of housekeeping before they get there. That way they don't have to do that during their speeches. I don't think the couple should have to do that during their speeches. They shouldn't have to stop and do housekeeping. That should be done long before they get there. So I introduce them to the venue. As the couple, they're going to be coming in, the venue they're at, and then just quick housekeeping. You can't smoke by these doors. You have to go at that door. Please don't take your drinks into the lobby. We're only allowed drinks in this room or whatever it happens to be, and then go from there.
Brian, what's your first thing when you get in the room?
Depends. You want me to give you an example, I suppose?
No, I think depends covers it.
It depends, yeah. Depends.
Thank you, Ben Stowe.
Yeah.
I was going to use that.
No, I'm going to.
Okay, so here it is. Here it is.
Okay.
Generic.
Here.
This is generic. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm playing background music. I'm playing background music, and I bring the music down. Nice. We'll pause and bring the mic up.
Yep.
Hello. How's everybody doing? Can you hear me? Okay. Good. By the way, when I say hello, they say hello back because I say commandingly and loud. So, bro. Then they're, oh, hello. How you guys doing? What? Everybody hear me okay, by the way? Yeah. Great. My name is Brian. I will be your DJ this evening. So if there's anything you need from me, please feel free to come up and let me know. I'll do my best to take care of you. That's an opener, and you can go anywhere you want from there. You can say they're going to be coming in. Wedding party is going to be coming in a few minutes, or be introduced to the wedding party. But that's like pretty much the first thing I'll say, just to get everybody's attention, whether I need to see them or get their attention or whatever, depending on the circumstance.
It's more curiosity. My wedding last night was the first I've done in a couple of months. And I'm like, 2023, I want to try things different. But I fell back on what I've been doing for years because it's worked flawlessly. And that is the inflection in the voice. People came in the room for a cocktail. Everyone was seated. We had the wedding party lined up. I got on the mic. I always, as I think Aaron said it, John may have said it, Buddy may have said it, I always make reference to the venue. I'm like, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome all of you to the grand tradition tonight for Boyd and Rachel's wedding reception. And then I step back and the whole room starts applauding. And I used to do the like, hey, everybody, how's it going tonight? I want to welcome all of you in just a few moments. And I found I never really commanded the room the way I wanted to. And Dave Chenair, if I'm mispronouncing his name, Chenair?
Yeah, sadly, he's out of the business now, but...
Out of the DJ business?
Yeah. Yeah. He retired this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he's very, very good.
It's because he kept saying wedding reception, and they all just didn't want to hire him anymore.
Well, I mean, 6 years ago, no disrespect or anything, Bri, but 6 years ago, he got paid $4,000 to fly to California.
I know that you love that.
For 5 hours. Well, I love making $4,000 for 5 hours. Call me stupid, but I need...
Are you making $4,000 for 5 hours?
No, I'm not even close.
And that's Canadian money. That's like $3.50. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
But I'm not making $2,000.
Ask Aaron.
Either. So I'm still trying to work my way up to the Midwest.
Yeah.
But he gave me that tip from, I think, Marbecca or something, and it's worked flawlessly every time. So I'm always curious. I'm curious what guys wear to weddings, because a lot of guys go very cash. Some guys go very tux. I'm curious how people introduce them. Like, I get a complaint from coordinators all the time. Wow, the DJ last night just let the song end. Wow, the DJ last night didn't do this, this, and this. So it's not about competition with other DJs, but it's about being the best DJ you can be.
Sure.
But if you don't know what the competition is doing, it makes it that much harder to step your game up, because what are you competing against? You're always competing against the other DJs. You have to. You can sit back and get in your, namaste world of, no, I'm my own man. I do my own thing. That's cool. But if you want to better yourself in an industry where there are comparisons, you at least need to know what's going on, or else you don't know what's going to make things better. It's not always as artistic as we would like it to be. I think sometimes that learning and getting better has to do with knowing what's actually going on.
Well, Jay,
Go ahead.
that's why, right, when I'm doing supplying other things apart from the DJ, like the dance floor or the other bits that I supply, I'm not there as a DJ, but I'm there and I'm able to listen to other DJs, and I go, oh, they do that, or sometimes it's a case of I'm just going to sit in the corner on my hands with some gaffer tape over my mouth so I don't say anything or do anything, because I'm not the DJ, and I just want to sit there and I'm not going. I'm like, no, I'm just there to do something else, But it's good that, if you can do that kind of thing, or be a fly on the wall, it's great to be able to see how other DJs work, because other DJs will never ask another DJ, hey, do you fancy coming to this wedding and watching what I'm doing? It's a total place watching very DJs.
I love it.
I mean, it's an eye opener. That's the thing about Howie's topic tonight, with us just hanging out in the patio.
Yeah.
That nickel knowledge you get in the hallway is oftentimes more valuable than what a $29.99, VHS tape seminar is going to give you.
I like your perspective, though.
I've learned a lot from letting it go around here, Jay. I mean, I think I want to change a few things around, so it works.
I mean, it sounds stupid when I say, what do you guys wear to weddings? And everyone looks at me like, why is that a big deal? Like, what do you care what somebody wears? I only care because, I know what Brian wears and I know why he wears it. And I know there are guys that wear suits, and I don't know why they wear suits, because the jacket to me is too cumbersome. But, I ask questions and I'll say, hey, do you guys think a shirt with a tie and a vest is a good look? Like it used to be with the tuxedo thing. And they look at you like you're kidding. And I'm like, no, I want to change things. Like,
well, you know what's really interesting about what you're saying, Jay? What I like about what you're saying, and you, the way you presented it, I think might be a little misguided as far as expressing your thought, because it sounds like you're saying I need to watch what other DJs are doing so I can improve what I'm doing and maybe take some things from what they do. You can do that, but I think what you're actually doing when I listen to you is you are recognizing weak points in what you do, and you're trying to figure out what you can do to make it better.
Right.
That's how I think is a healthy way to look at it, instead of, looking over your shoulder all the time. What are they doing? No. And what are you doing? And where do you feel like you can improve?
And I'm sorry if I presumed how to do it. I mean, I couldn't have done a better job last night. Like, it's one of those rare times. And I mean, it happens here and there where you look back and go, what would I have changed about the event to make it better? Nothing.
Yeah, like it's a good event.
Really on point. I purposely, after talking to a couple of wedding DJs in Florida last week who were like talking about using sync. I'm like, oh, I don't use sync. They're like, dude, I don't play a song over 1:40. I can't possibly get all the mixes right without using relative sync. I'm like, oh, I'm playing songs 3, 4, 5 minutes long. Oh, no. The only people that get mad at me are old people. They want to hear all of Push It. Young people have an attention span like that long. And I'm like, you know what? He might be right. He's really successful. He's very busy. Let me try this last night. And I started playing songs for 2.5 minutes long. And I found, A, I was a lot more challenged. B, my mixes seemed tighter because I really started stepping out more. And at the end of the night, client tipped me. They were super happy. The venue goes, do you have a card? We'd like to add you to our list. I mean, that's a great night. But I still walked away and said, okay, I want to be even better next time. What is it that I think I could change? My look, how I speak on the mic. My lighting wasn't on point last night because I only used a couple of Chauvet lights because it wasn't a lighting gig. But it's always wanting to just improve, because I think that sense of self-worth or value or whatever it is carries. And I think clients want to book the DJ or vendor that comes in the room with that sense of, I know I'm going to do a great job because I've done my homework.
Confidence.
Yeah, confidence.
Well, I'm going to the bar right now to get Jay a drink so that he'll be drinking instead of talking. So you guys in the background there, what else you got?
Yeah, I was just going to add pressure. Every event better than the one I did. Always try to be better. Always try to do better. Always try to be better than the last one you did. Continual self-improvement is great in this industry. Absolutely. Keep it up.
That's why we're talking here. As a matter of fact, last week I changed my mind on something, and Brian was shocked. But yeah, I did. I changed my mind.
Oh,
because I talked to you guys.
Wasn't going out about you, like how he said he introduced us. Like, I'm at this venue. Here in the Northeast, there's a bunch of venues. Some are really shitty, some are really good. And I was at my cousin's wedding, and the DJ said, "Welcome to Glistening Pond. What a beautiful place." And he started elaborating on the venue, and everybody just like, they started booing him. They're like, "We know we're here. What's on the invitation?" So that's why I never say, "Welcome to so-and-so venue."
Yeah, they're not paying you. What the heck's with that?
You don't leave that pamphlet.
You know what? And let me answer that real quick. It's because I just started doing it years ago with, instead of saying welcome to the reception or welcome to, I think I'd seen a video somewhere maybe, and somebody was like, "I'd like to welcome everyone to the beautiful Atlantic City Convention Center this evening.
Right.
This America." And I'm like, I should need to identify where people are. Yeah, I know they know where they are. They drove there. They had an invitation. But it's a great point that you bring out, Mikey, about it's just a habit I've fallen into. So the next wedding I do, I could certainly skip Welcome to Grand Traditions here in beautiful Fallbrook for Brian and Blanca's wedding reception and cut it,
Something I have done before too, and it may be worth mentioning, and I do a little bit of reconnaissance before I do it. I'll ask the client, are the people who are going to be at your wedding local, or are they coming in for the wedding? And usually they're telling me, well, it's, 50-50 or whatever. So sometimes I'll say, hello. My name's Brian. I'm your DJ tonight. Where's everybody from? Where are you from? Oh, and I'll do that whole thing. And, who's furthest traveled? And things like that, just little stupid bits. I've done that before too. It's been a while, but that's actually kind of fun.
Especially when it endears you to the crowd.
What's that? Icebreakers. Yeah.
Hey, he's my friend now.
Or you could say something, if you know people are from Connecticut, you could say, hello, everybody. All right, who's from Connecticut? This table over here. Welcome. Welcome. And who's from Colorado? And just go through it. I don't know. Those are just little dumb things that I've done before.
Glad you Colorado. We're good.
No, I will get the Boston bride and groom sometimes out here, and I'll say like, same thing. Like, where's family coming from? Oh, we got a lot of people from Massachusetts. And I'll take advantage of it because I'll get on the mic and say, I want to welcome everyone here to the beautiful grand tradition for so-and-so, so-and-so. I understand we have people from Massachusetts here tonight, and they'll all make noise. I'm like, okay, let me repeat my announcement. How you guys doing? This is going to be a wicked awesome evening here. Just want to welcome
That's awesome, dude.
Boston subtitles.
Flip out. And they're like, oh my God, he's doing a Boston accent.
Who's from Boston? I die for this people. I die for that.
You're my people. That's for sure.
I love Boston accents.
The bar is over there.
Yeah.
That's all you got to know.
He said that about you, John.
That's it.
I was surprised with the reaction from that group at my cousin's wedding when they just started booing the DJ for saying a venue. I'm like,
that's funny. I mean, just the break-in of that is you want to get them used to hearing your voice on the microphone too. So it's not just the voice of God. You want to rapport. You want to make eye contact when you're talking. So they know when you get on the mic, you're saying something important.
Scott Haver does exactly. Actually says early in the night, I want to welcome all of you. My name is Scott. I'll be your DJ tonight. And I want you to know that anytime I speak on the microphone, it's to benefit or to make happy the bride and groom. I can't, it's something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. And he's like, every time I turn a microphone on or turn the music down for the rest of the night. And Brian, you and I have talked about changing lighting in the room. Like the lighting is blue. And every time you go to speak, you make it white. And eventually it gets very Pavlov. Like when the light goes white, or the room goes, oh, I think the guy's going to cough right now. And when I was on the boats, we would go under the Coronado Bay Bridge. And 25 years ago, one night under the bridge on a Tuesday, I'd be like, folks, we're going under the Coronado Bay Bridge, 198 feet, 2.12 miles long, longer than the Golden Gate Bridge, blah, blah, blah. And I was so bored, I looked around, it was all couples. And I said, and of course, there's the myth of the Coronado Bay Bridge that says if you go under it with a loved one on a Tuesday, and I held up my arm around 7:35, and you kiss them under the bridge, it's supposed to bring you a lifetime of love, happiness, and good luck. We're almost under the bridge, and I turned around, and literally within 3 seconds, every couple was
making out.
Kissing under the bridge. So I didn't say it last night, but if you guys want this, take it. If the room's moving with or against you, get to like the toast. Because oftentimes we have to speak and say, hey, I'd like in a moment to bring up the toasters from the wedding party, and we're going to start with the best man. Folks, round of applause for Jim, the maid of the best man, whatever. I'll get up and say, ladies and gentlemen, just a moment, I'm going to invite the bride's dad, Tim, up for his toast. But before I do, I was informed that 100 years ago today on this very spot, a young couple was wed. This couple spent the rest of their lives deeply in love, successful, and happy. And you kind of look the room and pause. And according to their DJ, right before the toast began, they kissed while everyone yelled, I love you. And again, you look at the family because the family will get emotional. And you go, so to continue this 100-year-old DJ tradition, on the count of three, as the bride and groom please kiss, and all of you yell, I love you. 1, 2, 3. And if they always scream, I love you, your night is set.
Because a guy like you, and I've told you this before, I've told you this many times, you are so much better when you riff.
Oh, that one is, because I know when to pause when I'm making it up.
When you take something that I can tell is canned and say it, it's fine. But when you riff, it's gold.
Yeah.
If you're doing an event for me, I would, and I knowing you, I'd say, dude, please don't give me any canned anything. Just riff it all.
Right.
Because you
But
are
that
golden.
comes off riff because
you're that
seems
good.
at the moment, like, where's this coming from? Because you see staff looking around. That's when I know it's winning. When I can get even the staff to start looking around like, were we here 100 years ago?
Yeah.
Were there
a DJ exist in 23? Were there
that is all of it is like they actually stop for a second and go like, shit, I can't believe that happened 100 years.
Well, I mean,
get that all night.
I mean, Howie was a DJ in 1923, but was anyone else?
Well, I can confirm that that actually happened. And someone said, yeah, that was 23 years ago.
Make up the old controller.
Yeah. No, but
I
seriously,
know in 40 years I got to change the timing.
It's got to get longer.
Years ago.
Brian, you are very good when you riff.
Jay's
Well,
better.
when-
Jay's really good. I
Well,
really
when
enjoyed
you
listening to Jay stuff.
did your thing at the November DJ meetup, you just tossed your papers and you were like, I'm just going to speak, and you did. And then you had that question and answer period and you were like, yeah, you're very good at riffing,
Well, in that regard, but when Jay's funny. I mean, I have heard Jay go off on these monologues before at these conferences, and I've been in stitches. Everyone's just been in stitches, and he's just riffing. And like a couple of days later, say, Jay, what was that thing you were saying? It's like, I have no idea. I don't remember.
You don't remember.
What do you mean you don't remember? It was brilliant.
Larry did that. Remember? I did a presentation and one of our DJs was like talking to post like, where are the lines for all this? I got to copy some of this. He's like, lines for what? He's like, where did Jay, like that V for vodka thing, like all that stuff, like where's that coming from? He's like, he's making it up as he goes. But he commands it by pointing at the PowerPoint and then turning around. He's like, and post starts laughing. He goes, because he hasn't read it yet.
That's your superpower. Just
That's my thing. Like,
understand that is your superpower. So
like I'm
use it.
making a statement. The statement is, I have no idea what's on the screen behind me. I did that at
You did that at Expo.
Sweetwater. I had 750 people in a room. They had a 40 by 40 screen on stage with the screen from my laptop. My laptop crashed. I didn't know it was on the screen. So I just wrote it off to, I was the only one that saw it. And I was like doing my thing, talking about lighting. And the second it crashed, I stepped around the table and I said, I want to give you a takeaway. You guys carry the XTJ RX3. I had a wedding a little while ago and I recorded the ceremony. And then later on, when they did the first dance, I listened to the flash drive and I played the bride and groom's vows back to them during their first dance. Mother cried.
Wow.
Dad's crying. And you're making memories with this equipment that are absolutely priceless. Thank you, everyone. And I come off and the vice president of sales for PV's like, you need a job. I'm hiring you. I'm like, oh, thanks. I appreciate it. He goes, that crash laptop thing, that was awesome. I'm like, what crash laptop? He goes, dude, the screen just blew up. And I go, wait, it was on the screen? He goes, yeah, you didn't know? I'm like, no. He goes, we thought your recovery was amazing. I'm like, I thought I was the only one that knew. That's why I handled it, because there was only one of me. He goes, oh no, the whole room saw it crash.
And by the way, he didn't do that the week before he never played the vowels over anybody's.
Like you could. So
He
it's
could. I mean, theoretically, he could, but he'd never done it. It was an idea he had.
I made a general manager at Guitar Center cry because he had had his daughter's wedding 6 months earlier. And I told that story in a group of 20 and he started to cry and he said out loud in front of everyone, God damn it, where were you when my daughter got married? If you'd done that there, I would have lost it. And he starts crying and everyone's like, it's very emotional. I'm like, perfect.
Now, in all fairness, I wouldn't very rarely suggest that anybody riff this stuff. But
unless you have the chops.
you got the gift, and Jay's got the gift.
Yeah, you either have
Most of us should probably think about what we say before we say it.
Yeah.
Jay, just let him go. He's better that way.
Make it up as you go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Make it till you make it.
Are we done yet, Howie? We've been doing this for a long time.
We've gone.
I got to go to the cashier.
We've gone about 45 minutes. So, does anybody else have anything they would like to share before we put a fork in this?
I think it was a great show.
Alrighty. Well, thank you all for being here and being part of this virtual, like, oh my gosh, just seeing you in the hall type of thing. And Brian,
Sounds like I was there, Howie.
yeah, I felt like I was there too. And I actually learned some things and I'll tweak some things. So it was, it worked out just like I wanted it to. And I want to thank you all so much. And thank you at home. And when this goes to YouTube, leave your comments down below if you'd like us to cover something special for you. We'll be happy to. And we